There's a real chance for FaZe to step it up and contest those top 4 spots in the region.
Yep, absolutely. So ahead of them is a Sonic squad that has got Roldiz filling in for one of their players. And apparently he has been looking absolutely outstanding today, as Gyro is going to kick us off with his first goal.
And that was all too easy for Gyro. I think third man for... Yeah, it was just a really slow rotation back from Shock. He went to grab the boost in the corner, didn't realize a shot was coming in uncontested. Didn't get there anywhere near in time, so not the start that Soniqs were looking for. Likewise, this is the dream draw for Soniqs. Out of all the teams that you want to run into, I think FaZe they're still the favorable draw compared to an NRG, compared to an Envy, compared to a Rogue. But it's far from easy, as evidenced by FaZe 4-0 in the group.
I'm sure FaZe as well will know that the pressure is still on when it comes to maintaining those top 6 spots. Done a phenomenal job so far this tournament, keeping the pressure on everyone else. When you are sitting in those spots, top 8 has to be the bare minimum that you're aiming for every single tournament. They can achieve that by winning just one series today. Corral forced to leave the ball for Shock, and Roldiz tries to find his way in. Was sort of getting blocked off there by his teammate. So ended up moving forward a little later than he would like. There's AJ doing what he needs to do, as Illusion was bumped just a little bit, calls off his teammate, passed the ball to AJ, and AJ so close to finding the net. What a pre-jump save from Shock.
Yeah, huge save there from Shock. It looked like another AJ goal because he's been having such a great weekend. AJ really, I think, solidifying himself as a top 3 player in the region alongside First Killer and Justin with these performances. And now T Corral with the mind game. AJ's got the top corner covered.
I think he could have taken that first time.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he could have taken a shot there, but he was anticipating a pre-jump, and correctly so. I think there would have been a pre-jump save there. The mind game is extremely cheeky to go for. Had he pulled it off, it would have looked genius. So I respect it.
Well, we see Roldiz going to have another attempt. That's going to bounce very awkwardly for AJ, but can still get himself in the way of Shock. And now we just see the crowd forming over on this side of the field. Corral does get blocked by AJ, but the ball bounces all the way over to Shock. The backboard, Illusion. A powerful clear, so T Corral can move straight back in. He's going to start headhunting. Looks for the shot, pops out to Roldiz, leaves it. Shock calls for the shot of his own. And Soniqs are all over them, but they just need to break down this defense.
Yeah, they've had many chances here. The boost really running low for FaZe. But no threatening shots on target outside of that mind game. We saw T Corral there just unable to get around the shot to hit it into the net, and he's unfortunately been denied by the post after dropping down the pass to himself. The pressure continues. This is a tough position for FaZe. They're being tested on their low boost management and their communication here. Soniqs, are they going to be able to resist the temptation of going too aggressively for this? Because now they're a bit out of position themselves.
AJ's going to look to try and complete the transition. So it's T Corral sealing to himself. He's going to keep going, look for the block. Illusion all over it. So it's now up to Illusion to try and give his team a little bit of breathing room. Or you can just get it to this player right here, the one player that might make the difference. Nobody around to try and slot it in for 2-0, but so far, that kickoff goal is the only difference between these two teams. And for the Soniqs, that would be one of the more frustrating losses you can have.
Yeah, I think they're going to be quite happy with how they've played in the midfield battle. I think that Soniqs are pretty solid when they get into a full rotation, but they got a bit greedy on the kickoff. Shock taking a scenic route back to net instead of playing directly for the goal, and they've been punished for it. And since then, it's just been all about FaZe defense. And credit to them, they've not really panicked with low boost. They're actually answering every position about as well as they can. Yes, they're getting beaten to the ball, but when you don't have a lot of boost, that's inevitable.
Well, I don't know if you saw something that I didn't, but I don't think I've even seen a double commit from them just yet, which is usually a little bit more consistent when you are stuck in that defensive side of the field. But so far, clean as you like from FaZe's defense, and they are, again, leaving AJ downfield. You can see where the target is. Able to find him just yet, but I haven't needed to. Roldiz out to Shock off the backboard. He's not got the boost to follow it up. After stealing a little bit, we're gonna potentially see FaZe have to show off that low boost defense one more time. Shot puts the grid. Illusion's block isn't going to help out for too long, although he tries to body block Roll Diz. A ball now over to T. Corral. Flip reset from him. Does land. And it's just not falling into the right position right now for the Sonics. Every single challenge is just away from where they would like to run on to the next play.
Yeah, they're perhaps lacking creativity. It's very direct. The backboard has been a target over and over again. And I think that FaZe have seen that coming, especially in the second half of this game, where they've been even more solid. It's getting better for FaZe as we go through this game, rather than going back into Sonic's favor. There's the confirmed win. FaZe take game one, and they're still looking great this tournament. They were tested defensively here, but like you mentioned, perfect communication, no double commits from them. Even though they were in really, really panicky positions, they've done well, stayed composed. And you got to think how much pressure is on these guys. Young team who are just on the come up. They've been picked up by a huge org. They've got so many eyes watching them, so much pressure on their shoulders. They've dealt with it brilliantly there. They didn't even need a pop-off from AJ. They didn't even need a huge offensive performance. They just got the job done.
Well, they're at that age where you spend a lot of your time, coming up here, you watch other esports and you start thinking, what if one day I could start representing any of these big orgs? And after you've grown up with it, you finally get your chance. And they have done a great job so far of showing that. Now I look forward to seeing what they've got offensively. We saw a couple of passes over to AJ. They didn't really need more than that because they were sort of gifted a goal in the opening few seconds. Johnny, we seem to be a little bit of a catalyst for kickoff goals over the past few days. But want to see something a little bit more from both of these teams here. We've seen great defense from both sides. Now we need to see the offense opening up a lot more.
Yeah, well, especially for Sonics, if they get another chance to attack a low boost FaZe, they've really got to try and mix it up a little bit. One thing that they could try to employ a bit more is the infield pass, because it's very difficult to defend all angles when you don't have a lot of boost. And it was the backboard that FaZe decided to defend for the most part of that game, leaving infield passes a bit open. And there we go, just about as fast as FaZe got a goal in game one. It's actually Sonics who are up a goal. And this was a phenomenal pass from Robis. We got that for a finish as well. T. Corral flying backwards off the wall, catches FaZe sleeping.
That's so difficult to pull off as well, because if Corral, is even a little bit lower than that, then that car is just going to plant itself into the ground, and you are done with that play. So, a matter of inches is AJ. Wow. Well, absolutely no doubt about this goal. All three players involved, and FaZe decimate the defensive line.
I mean, Roldiz and T. Corral are both grabbing boost. They're both moving away from their goal as the ball enters their half after a kickoff. That's the second time they've conceded by doing this. If you're the last man back to support your team, that's a miss. That's going to be another goal, surely. Shock actually does get back to goal in time. I was just assuming that nobody would be there because the rotations are so wide for Sonics after kickoffs. They're just grabbing 100 boost pads instead of realizing there's an imminent threat. We need to get back to defense. You've got to go back to your goal directly there. 2 games in a row they made the same mistake.
You know how in other sports, say tennis, they have like a little meter that comes up that says how fast the serve was? I want after every kickoff there to be a little Johnny Boy face that comes up with whether or not he's happy with what you did.
Yeah,
just an angry Johnny.
The IQ rating of a kickoff strategy, I mean, it is something that's very interesting to me. It's the only set piece in the game, so you'd expect it to be the most organized part of the game, but in fact it tends to be the opposite.
Hey, I'm going to give Sonics their way off here. They've got their coach in the game. Like, he's not got time to analyze this.
Well, Roldiz was one of the players who went to grab 100 boost while Shock was just completely alone in goal, wishing that he had somebody there to help him. Yeah, either a miscommunication or decisions just not being done properly. And it's a shame for Sonics because in the midfield game, they've looked dead even. The mechanics have looked pretty much dead even as well. They're going very, very toe-to-toe with FaZe, which is impressive. But they're letting themselves down a couple times after kickoffs. That's a good save. Deflection from Sonics goes into the corner. This is still better posturing aggressively from FaZe. They didn't get a lot of looks at the final third of the blue half in game number 1. Getting plenty now.
Oh, T. Corral around 2 players. Now an opportunity. Shock's moving forward. Might not need him. Goes off the backboard. Where's the third man? In comes Roldiz. Just a little bit too late. That was a chance there for Sonics. And unfortunately, just took a little bit too much time to set up what they wanted.
So close, and they almost had the entire plan figured out there. I don't think that the player running in to look for a goalkeeper was on the same page as T. Corral, who was taking the ceiling shot. He would have rather maybe had a bit back up there instead of somebody running ahead of him. But hey, here come the Sonics again. This is a huge chance for T. Corral. Top corner shot and in. Gyro is guessing correctly, but it was just too accurate for him to reach.
Yeah, he's got to take that as quickly as he can, but there's nowhere for him to push that ball. It's one of those rare occasions where just hitting the ball directly into the goalkeeper is the best thing you can do, because there's nowhere for you to get that on the front of your car, get it into the corner. Instead, just bounces right back out. And the Sonics have done everything well so far this game and this series, apart from kickoffs. But this one they have got away with. And they'll feel pretty confident from here on out. Here's Roldiz looking to try and add yet another one. Goes for the block, and that's well defended.
Yeah, Roldiz didn't have enough boost to really fly down into that and dunk it hard as the goalkeeper got a save. But the ideas are there for Sonics. They've been the slightly better team in midfield play, and like you said, they didn't concede a kickoff goal there. So a huge win for them. This is brilliant from Roldiz. So staying close to the ball, doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, so he's staying goal side. If any 50-50 does happen, it's going to be a safe one.
AJ gets bumped out of the way. Something that he's had to get used to so far this season as players realize, well, we can't get the ball off him. Let's at least get his car. Comes in yet again. Drop down pass, nobody available for it. I'm sure he would have liked to catch Gyro on his way out of the goal. Minute and a half left here. Sonics, after that 2-goal cushion. Shock second touch does not quite catch out Gyro, but it's a difficult ball for him to play. Now, Lucian's flick doesn't help out too much. AJ does take over, and he's got Gyro up in support. Bounces out into the midfield. A Lucian slight misread on where that ball was bouncing out to, and it meant that he couldn't find the shot.
This is ridiculous. Sonics with a huge step-up performance so far. It could have easily been a tie game in game one if they were a bit more careful at the very start of the game. This game, in their favor, clearly. Another shot for Roldiz. The bar denies them a 2-goal lead. Now there's a little bit of a tussle between Shock and Gyro, but the rotations are just coming in so much faster for Sonics. It seems like they've got boost advantages the majority of the game. And the time is running out for FaZe, who have looked relatively uninspiring offensively compared to in the group stage.
Gyro gets it to a Lucian! Off the crossbar by AJ! He's never going to miss that one. 2 each.
Oh, that's so much better from FaZe. Gyro's touch straight up into the ceiling, and they had the 3v1. Even though a heroic save comes in from Shock, there's just no one there to help him. 2 times in this game, Shock has been completely isolated in a 1v3. It's really the worst position to be in Pro Rocket League. FaZe just doing enough so far. It hasn't been the absolute greatest performance from them. It doesn't have to be. They are doing what they need to do for the time being.
Out to Shock, and then we get one more chance at this before overtime. Low boost for Shock, but he was still going to at least give it a go. T. Corral to Roldiz. The infield pass was finally there. Nothing else was. 2 each. Overtime required. FaZe Clan need this, and they'll send themselves on to match point.
Yeah, another safe kickoff there from Sonics. I think they've identified the problem, making sure that they've got somebody going straight back into the goal area. And that's bulletproofed them from their major weakness in the series so far. And as we enter another midfield play, another full rotation, Sonics may have a slight edge here. Can another 3v1 develop for FaZe? That's how they've scored both their goals up until now. Lucian's got time here, but under a little bit of pressure means he has to jump early. Wasn't sure there if the player who wasn't on his screen, he only had vision of 2 Sonics players. The other was behind him, so he's thinking, okay, it could be a bump, and that's fair enough. Here's Roldiz. That's not the best clear, and Roldiz punishes it. Sonics have done it.
And it's well-deserved. T. Corral, great step to just force a panic touch from Gyro.
Oh my.
And Roldiz is in form at the moment. We've got ourselves a real series.
Wow. Sonics. And like I said, they could have very easily been a couple of games for them here. Gyro's going to need to pick up the clears, because that's where he's let himself and his team down in this game. The first goal that we saw from Sonics was a solo clear from Gyro, which was capitalized on. here we see a bad angle in the clear from Gyro, which is capitalized on. And it's not like, I'd say both the errors were forced. He's definitely under pressure in both positions, but just a slight less bit of power on these clears and he would have been able to take control, play for the 50-50 instead of, like we see here, just hitting it right out into the middle. You got to also mention Illusion driving off the goal line there. Perhaps not the smartest thing to do because Gyro does have pressure on the ball. So the only thing Illusion should be concerned about is defending the goal. And by advancing past the goal line, he's not making his life easier in terms of goalkeeping. Still though, that's a hype result for the series because I think if they'd gone 2 down, Soniqs would have probably let their heads go down as well because they've been very competitive in both these games. They'll feel like this is a deserved result after game 2.
Well, the loser of this one is either going to be taking on Pittsburgh Knights or XSET, who are currently playing. Right now, Pittsburgh Knights 1-2 down. They are on the verge of being eliminated. Wow. As XSET, you know, we've spoken about them, Johnny. They've been improving as the season goes along, but that's quite a step up.
Yeah, XSET overall had a disappointing start to RLCS Season X, but they're a dangerous team and they swept Rogue in the group stage. Obviously, Rogue's group stage performances, their day 1 performances in regional and major events recently have been nothing to write home about, but it's still noteworthy that XSET swept them. They're a dangerous team and nobody wants to play them because they've given hard runs to NRG in the past. They're not a nice team to play. I think they play quite a unique style as well, so you can't really go and scrim and prepare for them like you would another team.
So definitely not a team you want to be going up against coming off a loss, but one of these two teams will have to do it. AJ, good flick. And offensively, AJ, you know, he's had time on the ball so far this series. He just hasn't quite been able to get anything going just yet. Might be a little caught out here. Rold is on the chase. He's one-on-one against AJ, goes low. I do like the idea, but when you're one-on-one against AJ, 90% of the time, he's going to win. First drop down, 2 players committed there from the Soniqs. Gonna follow up. What a series this has turned into, Johnny. Both teams trying so hard. Rold is actually down the other side. What? I don't know why he's over here. I'm sure he doesn't know why he's over here, but it works out perfectly.
Oh, that's just brilliant. Rold is stealing a back corner boost, turns around to see the ball rolling straight through FaZe.
They know. Just
right
look at him. They know.
I think he's really taking one for the team there. Just taking the demo in the face so that he can slow down the defender for FaZe, who was maybe going to catch up to that one. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre to see FaZe let that one roll through. And now they've got Soniqs in the back foot. Can they keep them there? Do they even want to keep them there? Because to be honest, FaZe don't look like they've got the most safe attack. They've left openings. They are going pretty all in a few of these times. I think they prefer to be a bit of a counter-punching team. They'd rather have a team attacking them that they can absorb and slingshot right back at them. T-Corral sends him a message, 2-0. Soniqs outplaying FaZe.
Oh my goodness, T-Corral. That's gorgeous. That is just fantastic. And now the Soniqs are the team in form and looking like they could very well be the team to move through and make their way into our playoffs. Give themselves a bit of a 2-goal cushion. That might not last too much longer. T-Corral instantly around. He's actually got it on target. Nobody back.
What?
Johnny, I'm not the analyst here. You have to explain this to me.
Did Gyro and Illusion just bump each other? I tried to catch it at the start of the replay, but the replay for this goal, as it begun, I just saw Gyro and Illusion kind of both flopping in opposite directions. I believe that they drove into each other as they were both, well, one was trying to rotate in, one's trying to rotate out, and they've collided, I think. That's the only explanation for there being nobody back for FaZe for a long, long time. Like that shot wasn't a quick one. It bounced in. That's a good bump though. So AJ just has to watch painfully as FaZe concede again. T-Corral just hunts down AJ and just got enough of a connection to guarantee the goal.
Yeah, I love that pathing as well from T-Corral. He is on another level at the moment. Last 2 games, he has been the standout player for me. When you look at how the Soniqs are playing, it's very difficult just to put it down to one player as well. The whole team really stepping up at T-Corral's second touch. He's danced around everyone. Now Roldiz looks to try and make it 5. They're trying to put the hurt on here. Big clear. AJ almost found his way through. Don't get too excited here, Soniqs. You've got the leads. Without just dropping any freebies over to FaZe. Grell back in. That backboard as unavailable as it usually has been this series. AJ wanted to try and give one back to Roldiz. Doesn't happen, but now Gyro's got a little bit of space. It's not working out here for FaZe, and this game could already be beyond them.
Yeah, FaZe just struggling to get anything going in offense. It doesn't seem like they have any kind of mechanical advantage. The speed is dead, even if not in Sonic's favor. Now, finally, something goes in for FaZe, and they had to just throw everybody forward for this. There's no other option. We've got Illusion just hunting Shock down. He just chased him into the goal, and then the infield pass connects with Gyro, who opens the scoring for FaZe. A long way back, though, still. And Soniqs it would be shocking if they give up this lead.
Well, I certainly haven't cast a 4-goal comeback this season, and it has been a very, very long season. So, very much against it. T-Corral finds a mid-air bump. Now Roldiz. Oh, wow. I just seem to be getting excited now whenever the Soniqs get a bit of time on the ball, because they have the vision and the ability at the moment, and they are performing fantastically.
Yeah, Soniqs look good. This is a dangerous look for them. And remember that whoever wins this is just into the final day. They're going to be confirmed already.
Short day at the office.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a huge surprise. Soniqs came out of the group they were in, second place behind Envy. I think it was one of the groups that were more stacked in the center. You'd never really can tell who's going to be that second place team in a group like that. But Soniqs, they were the ones who did it. They stepped up, and this seems to be why. You know, fair enough, they didn't beat Envy. Envy were definitely impressive in the match we saw from them today. So I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of. And it's been straight up outplays. Soniqs, in every way apart from kickoffs, have been the better team here.
Here comes Shock. Wants the backboard double tap. Illusion will deny him that, but 5-1, 20 seconds left. Even the most optimistic of Rocket League fans probably say that this one is done and dusted. Quick update as well. That other series, XSET and Pittsburgh Knights, did go to Game 5. With 35 seconds left, it's 2-0 to XSET over on Champions Field. So looking like they will be the team. But for the Soniqs, they don't care about that. They don't want to care about XSET. They don't want to care about the Pittsburgh Knights. They care about making it through to top 8.
Yeah, this is something. FaZe, after the dream start, after sweeping their group, would probably have expected more from this. I don't think this is what they were expecting at all from the series. I would have expected a mechanical advantage from them for a start. They don't look like they're playing very confidently. They don't look like they're playing very quickly, and they didn't double commit very often. But they're not really committing at all.
That's the greatest goal I've ever seen.
Yeah, they've conceded some real howlers in this game. I mean, one's just rolled straight through to their goal between defenders. There's another one where I believe Gyro and Illusion bumped each other. So, in the attempts to avoid misplays, I think that they've kind of just slowed down to a halt. FaZe need to step up the pace here. They need to come in hot. They need to be moving a bit more like they were in the trailer for their match yesterday, where the org was announced, less like what they are right now. Because Soniqs are playing very well. A lot of people are going to write off Soniqs because they've not had the greatest season up until now. They look very dangerous today. FaZe need to step up significantly. They're going to be out, and they're going to be into that knockout gauntlet lower half.
Well, speaking of which, just confirming now, Pittsburgh Knights are out.
Wow.
Taking down 3-2, so XSET away. Whoever loses this. The Soniqs are so full of confidence. It's in teams that, when they do take on a team like FaZe, like to sit back a little bit more. They're just parking players on the other side of the field. They believe that FaZe's offense can't get through their defense, and not only that, they believe they can get 3 clears.
Yeah, it's definitely not a series the Soniqs would have been expecting either. I'm sure they were worried or concerned slightly about this guy, AJ, and this is why he's able to do things like this. It's about time. But AJ steps up and shows us why there's so much hype around this guy, why there's so much hype around this team. freestyling in a bit of an open net there. 1-0, FaZe in the lead.
And if they are going to make it back into this, that is the player. That has to be doing it. Lucian and Gyro from the kickoff. Not going to get anything from that just yet. Soniqs much more solid on that side of their game since we've got through game number 2. Now on target to AJ. It's a bit too high. It's looking better. Now Shock plays it a bit early. Lucian already down. Last time that we saw FaZe get a 1-goal lead, they stuck it out for the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
So I doubt we're going to see anything similar here. There's no team that loses. Oh my goodness! You know what? I get me correct very, very quickly. A Shock just blasts his way through.
That's just unreal. What control from Shock. Disguising the shot very well. You can't really be sure as a goalkeeper there if Shock's going to just go for an air dribble into the top corner, if he's going to try and dunk it, or even if he's going to try and get a flip reset on that. Suddenly, right at the end of the dodge timer, the shot goes right over the top of you, so nothing that you can really do as a goalkeeper in that position. It was all on AJ. He just lost possession for free, didn't get a goal side on the ball, didn't get any good touch on it, left his goalkeeper out to dry. And now he's going to try and make up for it in offense. And Roldes, completely unfazed.
Yeah,
we'll take the 50-50. Easy peasy for him. He just gets goal side, showing AJ how it's done.
All right, 1v1 players out there. If you want to beat AJ, the strategy is apparently to stay completely still. Bit of an odd one, but hey, if it works for Roldes, it can work for anybody. Shock will try and take over. Good challenge from him. It's all the way back out. AJ has to scramble. Make sure that there wasn't a follow-up coming in for Soniqs. Miscommunication. Nobody taking a hit. That is suboptimal. Leave it for the player. That is in the right spot. T-Corral, low challenge. Follow-up and somehow saved. Shock shot will be off target. I have no idea, Johnny, but we're still at 1-1, but maybe not for much longer.
Yeah, with the kind of clears that FaZe are throwing into the midfield right now, it won't be much longer. They've got to clear the ball more effectively than this. They need something. They need more time to be able to reposition after a shot comes in. They just need 50-50s. They need to try and stop giving the ball away, because Soniqs, every time they receive the ball in these kind of positions, are recycling the play extremely quickly. They're getting another shot on target without giving FaZe time to run around and grab those small boost pads, reposition, prepare for the next attack.
Oh, Lucian delays his take-up of the ball. It needed 2 players to cover that. Soniqs will look to reset. Low boost available for that team, though. Shock's challenges will do enough for them. Gyro turns, bumps Roldes. Leaves a lot of work to do for T-Corral. He has typically been the one able to do it for them. Oh, that's not a great touch. Lucian up. Try and set something. It's down to AJ. Goes for the shot. A little bit too soft. And now the clear actually calls Gyro in to defend.
Yeah, it's surprising to see Gyro needing to jump for this one, but you know, there have been a few struggles for FaZe today, just creeping too far off the, too far forward as third man. I think between that and the clears being as unsuccessful as they have been, you've got FaZe's struggles in a nutshell. There's another one. Shock's gonna send it in, and it is just too easy for them. The clears for FaZe are not going into safe locations. Gyro deflects the ball right into the attacker, and they are in big trouble here. They've got a minute, or else they're going to be out of this and into that lower half of the knockout gauntlet. 1 life remaining on the day.
And we can see the Soniqs talking to each other. Stay calm. You're on the verge of doing it. Roldes off the backboard, but AJ already up and around. 50 seconds for FaZe to get their way back into this one. Gyro off the wall. It bounces awkwardly. Nobody available for the rebound. AJ was very much out of the rotation. Now the drop-down pass. That trust to leave somebody in the midfield has worked out so well for the Soniqs. There's near universal pressure on the ball. Now Gyro back out again. That's available for Shock. I want to see if Gyro would at least provide him one more miss clear. But it hasn't happened. And now FaZe are out on the hunt.
Great defense, though. FaZe unable to get any realistic chances because the clears are working out for Soniqs. You'll notice it's all going to the side, nothing going down the middle. And now it's desperate for FaZe. They are going to get one more chance in this regulation time. Gyro's completely boost starved though, struggling to get anything going. Shock grounds it, and Soniqs advance to the final day of competition. Unbelievable. They deserve this.
Who's that with him? He's having a great time.
Oh, it's beautiful. Rolda is so happy. So happy. And full credit to them. They didn't just, capitalize on mistakes. They made some big plays as well.
Yes.
We saw TKRL especially with some huge step-up plays. Shock in this game with, 2 goals. But the first one was just such a solid 1v1 play with really good timing on the shot. FaZe are in trouble. They've got a legitimate matchup, a real threat coming to meet them in that lower half of the knockout gauntlet here. And after such a perfect start to the tournament, it's all gone wrong. They can still make it to that final day if they win their last series, but lose it and they're out. That's not the kind of result we were expecting. The way that they've failed to defend here does surprise me. Clears, positioning, not good.
Even if they win, whoever wins between X and FaZe take on Rogue in that final day in their first round. Sunday Rogue is a different beast entirely.
Yeah.
So yes, this has got long-term ramifications, and we are very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out. You're gonna get a chance to see that later on in the broadcast, but for now, we need to take a look at the Verizon 5G Speed Shot Challenge. We've been playing 3 goals to you for every single break. And we're going to take a look at 3 more. Johnny, got a chance to check out some of these earlier on, and they are fantastic. Those of you at home as well can vote for which one is going to go through to Sunday's final by even putting 1, 2, or 3 in the chat. But first, let's take a look at them as we're going to see the coast-to-coast air dribble. Take it the whole way and put yourself within shooting distance of winning the game.
Yeah, we're in the world where flip resets and dunks and rebounds and all these other things have been added to air dribbles, the vanilla air dribble still stands strong. That was a huge amount of acceleration on the ball.
Let's take a look at a dunk, shall we?
Wow, in overtime as well. That is bold. Overtime 1v1. Who even thinks of this?
And then there can only be one more play that we've got. It's one of the more difficult ones, actually, Johnny. This is one of the goals that I've never scored, and I don't think I've actually ever seen someone score in a ranked game. It's the sideball read to find the angle, put it top corner, and that is within 17 seconds of this game starting up. That's how you tell the other team, you're in trouble.
Yeah, this is a high standard vote right now. I mean, there have been some very easy ones to pick. I think this is going to be a harder one.
I'm so looking forward to seeing
any of these shots could have won in different rounds, but in this one, I think it's just going to be a tough one for Chad to decide.
So you guys at home are the ones that are allowed to decide who goes through to tomorrow's final. 1, 2, or 3, get them down, and we will catch up later on after this break to see which one will move on. But when we come back from break, we are moving in to our final upper bracket round of the knockout gauntlet. We've got G2, we've got KC Pioneers, and we've only got one chance to get through to the next round.